Hi everybody, welcome back to Cabin Crafts and Simple Living, and today I wanted to do a fun video. I thought this was fun. I hope you will too. But since we are in the year of celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States, I thought that it would be fun to kind of maybe drag out some a little bit maybe unknown things about the Revolution. So I have right here, this is a handmade tricorn hat box. I made this. It's covered in fabric, like a historical fabric. And inside is my hubby's tricorn hat. And oops, there's something else in there. And there's a feather in there. But I lined the bottom of it with the Boston Massacre, reproduction of the Boston Massacre that was an engraving by Paul Revere. So anyway, this is his hat box. And we're going to talk today about cockades, which is this thing right here. So this is my husband's hat for reenacting. It came from Townsend's, which this is a very high quality hat. I love this hat. You order them to size, and you can see Townsend's has their label in there. But he wore this for our Pioneer Days events and when I've done the special events. But what I wanted to talk about is the significance of cockades, how they're made, and that they even went into the 20th century. And then I've got a plate maker that I'm going to show you how to plate the ribbon. And this one is just kind of drawn around, and then it has a pewter button. You'll notice that there is a little loop here where you can, if I can get it off, it loops around that button and holds your cockade on. All men's hats had this. Women also wore tricorn hats in the 18th century. They would wear them out with their riding habit, which is their riding clothes to ride horses. They would put, theirs might be pretty colors. It might have pretty feathers in there and some artificial flowers. So women even wore tricorn hats, and I think, I mean, I love this hat. I love tricorns. So this is my hubby's hat. You wear this to a reenactment, and then if you go out to dinner in a public place, people are going to go, arg! They always think of Pirates of the Caribbean. This is not just a pirate hat. This is a colonial hat. So it's 18th century and even into the early 19th century. So I'm going to talk about the cockade. Okay, so I just wanted to show you his hat. So I'm going to put on my glasses. So this is one that I made with that new little ribbon thing. It's got a star in the button. The button is a star, and it's black and white. So actually colors were a significant part of cockades. So in the Revolutionary War, we're going to go back to this hat again, we were a British colony, and different countries had different colors to signify their country. So Great Britain was from the House of Hanover, and their color was black. So George Washington wore black cockade when he was in the French and Indian War, and also into the Revolutionary War. And I'm going to explain the change in a minute. And so then when the French joined our alliance, or allied with us, their country color was white. So then George Washington switched from a all-black cockade to a black cockade with a white overlay signifying the alliance with France. So he was wearing a black and white cockade, and then his button in the center, I think it said USA, which is a very early form. I mean, they didn't really call themselves the United States of America until the war had already started. But he had a USA button in the middle of his, and so this is black and white for Great Britain and France. And so now I've got to figure out how to get this cockade on this hat without tearing up the hat. But what I also thought was interesting was these have gone into the 20th century. If you remember the votes for women, they would wear a rosette, you know, they would wear a badge on a pin on their clothing, and it would say votes for women, and it would have the tails hanging down that said votes for women or suffragette. They were very popular in the Civil War. They were different colors. The Union had red, white, and blue cockades. And of course the South, theirs was either a light blue or a red and white, I believe. Missouri had its own secession cockade. I live in the state of Missouri. Missouri did try to secede from the Union, but it got voted down. So they were going to try to do it, and it didn't help anything that they didn't vote, or that they voted it down, because Missouri was the third bloodiest state in the Civil War, after Tennessee and Virginia. So it was a very divided state. It was a pro-slavery state. And so the people were very divided in Missouri. And you had a lot of guerrilla warfare in Missouri. Think about the James Gang, Bloody Bill Anderson, Quantrill's Raiders. They were all Confederate sympathizers. So anyway, these go up into the future. I mean, even into, like I said, 20th century America. And Washington, back to him, he had, we didn't have like specific military, you know, like the British had their redcoats. We were pretty poor. Some militia unit, and a lot of militia units made up the Revolutionary War. So we didn't really have official uniforms for privates and things. And so a lot of men went to war with their own gun, their own clothing. So Washington wanted to give distinction to his officers, and so he said certain officers will wear a red cockade, certain officers will wear a blue cockade, certain ones will wear a green cockade. Well, it got to the point to where if you ever get a chance to read the diary of Joseph Plum Martin, he was a Revolutionary War soldier. He joined in his teens. He was from New England, and he made it all the way through the Revolution, and he wrote a diary during his Revolutionary War days that's very interesting to read. And he talks about one day he saw the officers were taking their cockades off their hats, and he asked one of them why. And basically they were being a target for the British to take out our officers. We were doing the same thing to their officers. We were picking off British officers, but they didn't want the British to pick off them. So he was like, I'm a moving target. I'm taking my cockade off. And so they took their cockades off so that they wouldn't be targeted by the British to be picked off. So, you know, different colors meant different things. And then when we get into, and so this was pretty standard all the way up into, I would say probably right around the French Revolution. And when Jefferson was president, he was very sympathetic to the French because they were our allies in the Revolution. So a lot of people were wearing a red, white, and blue cockade because that was the colors of the French flag also, and they wanted to show loyalty between the alliance of the United States and France. And so everybody was wearing red, white, and blue cockades. But then at that time, there was a counter group that was led by John Adams that they didn't want us to get involved in foreign conflicts. Adams was taking Washington's stand on the United States does not need to be involved in all of these European conflicts because it's just never-ending war. And so they were wearing a counter cockade that wasn't the red, white, and blue. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was not. So what happened was, in one incident, a group of about 30 young men wearing red, white, and blue cockades on their hats encountered another group of young men that were wearing the opposite cockade, and a fight ensued. And so the lady that writes this blog, she's got a really cool blog spot. It's called creativecockades.blogspot.com, and I'll try and remember to put that in the description. But she said it was basically the equivalent of if you wore a red MAGA hat into the Joe Biden Democratic Convention. You know how the MAGA hats cause a lot of trouble for people. I mean, it's a shame you can't wear whatever you want in a country where it's a free country. But, you know, if you put that red hat on, my son went up to Michigan and he had a red hat, and on the front it said Larry Schmidt Auto Parts. But here he went from a very conservative Republican state, Missouri, up to a very blue state, Michigan. And he took his family up there because his wife's family is from there, and they were in a trick-or-treating in a crowd, and somebody saw his red hat from behind and went up to him and wanted to start a fight. And when he turned around and they saw that it just said Larry Schmidt Auto Parts on it, they backed off. Also when they saw the size of my son, because he's 6'3" and very burly. But anyway, it's funny how that hat will trigger. You've seen videos on YouTube, you know, don't wear that on an airplane, don't wear that hat, triggers people. Well, so same thing. Times have never changed, really. So if you're wearing the wrong cockade back then, it's like wearing the wrong hat today, or what might not be wrong to you, and it's definitely not wrong to me, but a lot of people think that red hat is wrong, and if you wear it in the wrong crowd or around the wrong group, it's going to start a fight. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I made this cockade, and then I'm going to show you some really cute ones. This is just an American cockade. Is the eagle upside down? It's got the eagle in there. I found these buttons at Hobby Lobby, I believe. And I just bought some red, white, and blue ribbon. And then I bought some black and white ribbon for the Washington cockade. And then I got this cool tool off of Amazon. And hopefully I can do this. I'm going to pull this a little bit forward. And maybe it will. But anyway, you feed your tail, and this is facing me, but all of your little tabs should be overlapping on towards the other. So you go through and make sure all of your tabs are overlapping the right way. And we're going to stick this in here. We're just going to stick the tail in here. Let me cut that off and make it even. It's crooked and it's bothering me. Probably better put my glasses on too. So you'll see me working this from the back. But I'm going to stick this end in here. And it starts like this. And it fell out, but we'll put it back in. And I'm just going to go around, and I'm going to fold this behind and make a fold and pull it to the front. This is hard to do up in the air. And there's your first pleat. And you just do this all the way around. Easier said than done, Candy, on TV. There we go. So I'm just folding behind, and all of my tabs messed up again. This was easier to do when I wasn't trying to demonstrate it. And there is another video on YouTube about how to do this. I'm just going to do a couple of pleats and show you. But I'm folding it behind and then flipping it under. So this is what it looks like on the back side. This is what it's looking like on the front side. So when you go all the way around, what I did was I basting stitched all the way around this thing before I pulled it off of this little loop thing. I think I did that one wrong. But anyway, you kind of get the picture. Here's the back side of that. It just makes this beautiful fan. And I did lay it underneath. I put it on a towel, and then I put a towel on top of it because you don't want to melt your ribbon. And I pressed it down so that you could get that pretty flat pleat. But anyway, this actually made it pretty easy. It just was hard to do, to show you all on camera. But this next one is very easy to do. And this one you can make as a cockade for your Revolutionary War hat if you have one, or you can add a couple of tails and make it a pin and wear this for the 4th of July this year since it's the 250th anniversary. And I just got this red, white, and blue ribbon at Hobby Lobby, and I just went along and I made a basting stitch, and all you have to do is just draw that up. And you see it makes a cute little rosette. And then we'll just finish it off. I'm going to cut some of this off. And so you don't want your ribbon to fray. What I do is I fold it over twice. I make a fold twice. And then when we pull it all together, then you'll attach those two ends. But I'm going to just tie this off. Make a knot. after you get it all closed up. And then I will attach these two tails together. Make a knot. Now, when I took my kids to Colonial Williamsburg back in 1997, they were selling this exact little rosette in the gift shop for the kids to put on their little Revolutionary War hat. So there you see. And then, like I said, I got these buttons. This is the one I put on George Washington's cockade. And then I found these eagle buttons, and I just sewed an eagle button in the center of that and put a pin back on it. I just sewed a little pin back on it, and you've got Revolutionary War patriotic cockade. You can either put it on your tricorn hat, or you can wear it as a badge or a patriotic ribbon. This might get you assaulted too. I don't know. It's really sad anymore that you can't be proud of your country. If you're proud of your country, you're called a fascist. I'm telling you, it's really got me upset. I'm tired of that. But anyway, God's going to fix it. So I hope you enjoyed this video about cockades, Revolutionary War, all the way up into the 20th century. People have used these, and then if you notice, if you win prizes at you know, at science fairs or whatever, they are still giving, you know, ribbons with the big tails. So this is probably something that will never go out of style as far as awards go. But there was actually significance attached to the colors and the way you wore it on your hat. So hope you all enjoyed this little bit of Revolutionary War history. Thank you all for watching, and God bless America. Bye.